Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely pumped to have you here today because we're about to undergo a massive paradigm shift. I mean, if you've ever felt like getting rich is just this total unsolvable mystery, or if you're feeling kind of stuck in a financial rut, get ready. We are going to completely change how you view money. Today, we're diving deep into the true equation behind wealth. We're going to strip away all those old myths, look at the cold, hard data, and reveal the actual science behind how money works.
So let me ask you a question that's probably floating around in your head right now. Is the game rigged? Let's be real. You're probably working a job you got after pushing through a university degree. Your living expenses just feel ridiculously high. And maybe, like a lot of us, you've got student debt hanging over your head. When you look at your own bank account and then look at the millionaires and billionaires out there, getting rich can feel, well, entirely mathematically impossible. It's baffling. It might even make you angry, leading to this really harsh thought that maybe you're just on the losing side of a rigged game.
And honestly, let's consider the math on why it feels so impossible. If a single circle represented $1 million, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, has a net worth that is 117,000 times that amount, $117 billion. The sheer mind-boggling scale of $1 billion compared to what the average worker takes home is just staggering. It creates this massive, seemingly uncrossable gap between everyday people and the ultra-wealthy.
Section 1. The time for money trap.
Okay, so to understand how to actually cross that massive wealth gap, we first have to expose a fundamental flaw in the ordinary world that our schools, our upbringing, and our environments have prepared us for. We've been heavily conditioned to believe in a flawed two-dimensional equation where money simply equals the salary you earn from a job. We're taught that past a certain point, the entire purpose of your education is just to trade your finite time for a capped salary. If your goal is to make a lot of money in the shortest amount of time possible, the specific equation will practically guarantee you never get there.
Let's break down the stark, shocking math here. If you're earning $20 an hour and working 40 hours a week, it would take you nearly 24 years just to reach $1 million. And remember, that's before subtracting a single penny for taxes, rent, or groceries, and completely ignoring inflation. Trading time for an hourly wage mathematically prevents wealth accumulation. Why? Because time is your most precious, finite resource. Once it slips through your fingers, you can literally never get it back.
Section 2. The truth about the wealthy. So if the standard job equation doesn't work, how on earth are people becoming self-made billionaires at such young ages? Well, the data actually shatters those Hollywood misconceptions instantly. A recent report by WealthX looked at the world's ultra-wealthy. We're talking folks with a net worth of $30 million or more. And the data reveals that 68% of them were entirely self-made. They didn't cheat, they weren't all born with silver spoons in their mouths, and they aren't inherently evil. The vast majority of the ultra-wealthy built their fortunes from absolutely nothing. Just think about self-made billionaires like Warren Buffett, Howard Schultz, Oprah Winfrey, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or Sarah Blakely. Many of these incredibly famous figures started out in poverty or from super ordinary backgrounds. So what do they know that we don't? They didn't just stumble into good luck. They simply had a better equation for wealth than the one we were taught in school. Section 3. The true equation behind wealth. Now we're going to shift gears to the ultimate solution and reveal the actual rules of the game in a capitalist society. If you really want to understand how wealth is generated, you have to completely stop chasing money and start understanding the market. And here's the absolute crucial point: perceived value. In our economy, you're paid in proportion to the value the market, which, by the way, is just consumers, your friends, family, and neighbors, perceives you have. It's not about how much you sweat. A cleaner busting their back every day is paid less than an accountant sitting in an air-conditioned office. Why is that? Because the cleaner can be easily replaced, while the accountant spent years studying to save their clients thousands in taxes. The market dictates worth based purely on that perceived value. Let's heavily contrast these two ideas, because this is a real game changer. The old equation was time equals money. The new equation, the one you really need to burn into your brain, is problem solving plus scale equals wealth. If you want money, you literally have to look for a problem and solve it for the market. Money naturally flows towards solutions. If you solve $1 million problem, you're going to make millions. Take the Amazon solution, for example. Think about the massive everyday problems Jeff Bezos solved for the market. The hassle of driving to a physical store, the frustration of waiting weeks for a package, those sky-high consumer prices. Bezos didn't just chase money, right? He solved a massive billion-dollar problem for consumers. and the market rewarded him with billions in return. Section 4. Scaling your solution. Now, I know exactly what you might be thinking. Okay, but I don't know how to code the next Facebook or build the next Amazon, so this isn't for me. Let me stop you right there. You don't need to be a tech genius to apply this equation. It all comes down to execution. Let's look at this actionable playbook. Step 1. Simply listen to market frustrations. What do people find super inconvenient in their daily lives? Step 2. Build a solution to that specific frustration. Step 3. Scale it infinitely. And step 4. Automate the processes or position yourself for an acquisition. Everything starts by just paying attention to what people are complaining about. But here is a massive warning. Do not accidentally create another time-bound job disguised as a business. Consider a local yoga teacher making $100 an hour. That is non-scalable because there are only so many hours in a day they can physically teach. But a 24/7 online yoga course, that is infinitely scalable. You create it once, and it can be sold to thousands of people while you're literally sleeping. Scaling your solution is absolutely critical. And when you achieve that infinite scale and automation, it ultimately leads to liquidation events. See, when you solve a problem and scale it up, other companies are going to want a piece of that value. Instagram was acquired by Facebook for $1 billion. PayPal was acquired by eBay for $1.5 billion, which, by the way, sent $165 million straight into Elon Musk's pocket. This is the moment where years of problem solving come to total financial fruition. Section 5. Reclaiming your ultimate resource. All right, so we've talked a lot about the cold, hard math of business and scalability today, but I want to bring this back to the deeply human, emotional element of why any of this actually matters. Consider this. Money is just a piece of paper, a number on a screen. Its value is only backed up by our belief in its value. For most of you, from the very start, this was never actually about the paper itself. Paying off a mortgage, traveling the world, buying your dream car. Your destination wasn't monetary. It was a sensation. It was the feeling of absolute freedom. And that brings us to the ultimate why behind this entire explainer: time. Time is the one valuable resource we will never, ever be able to reclaim. Wealth is simply the tool you use to buy back your finite hours on this earth. It's the tool that stops you from repeating a sleep-work-sleep cycle you don't enjoy, and it allows you to actually live your life completely on your own terms. So I want to leave you with this powerful question to think about. Will you let solving problems be the meaningful struggle in your life? If you truly desire the liberty of never having to worry about money again, you must permanently stop chasing money and instead chase solutions to problems. The road definitely won't be easy, but if the struggle is meaningful, isn't it worth pursuing? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this completely changes how you build your future.